I could see it in his eyes. A distant and pained 1,000-yard stare. The type of look that was hardened over years of brutality. The mind of a man cursed with the knowledge of humanity's most horrid and inescapable depths. The grimace of a human who knew. "What theatre?" I asked simply while sitting beside him, offering my bottle of Jack Daniels. The park was sparse and cute. Families and picnics dotted the horizon like freckles, yet I saw him amongst the pantomime. I saw him because he wasn't acting. "Olive Garden," he said with grizzled honesty, taking the Jack from my hand and swigging without reservation. "You?" "Started at a Ruby Tuesdays." Memories of violence and horrid trauma flashed in my mind like grenades. Worked my way up the ranks before moving. He nodded. "What branch?" "Front of house, but they also put me on dish when manpower was low." A smirk glanced the man's face, one that spoke of understanding and sympathy, but not of remorse. He knew just as well as I that war was hell, and hell was the service industry. Call-outs? "They just quit," I said while drinking the Jack. "They just couldn't take it." He finished me with a nod. "I know, son." Camaraderie was all we had. Unity in knowing that we weren't alone in this brutal state of awareness. We were the tainted children of the modern world, the slimy cogs used to push humanity deeper into whatever sin we were heading for. "You? Back of house." The branch only said so much. How strong was his leader? What was the rush like? Only God can judge a man, and only God can understand the pain of a man on grill. "The brass hats?" I asked. He chuckled, letting his head rest between his legs before bringing his eyes back to the light of day. Sometimes the soul needs the familiarity of darkness. GM was fine, a good woman who knew what battle was, but the high-end brass hats... Corporate, he corroborated. They could go to hell. Didn't know a damn thing about what we went through. They never do. I offered him more Jack, but I saw the shake in his hands. Raising my eyes to meet his, I didn't see the stare anymore, but I saw the fear. The scare of a man reliving the war. "Breadsticks," he said with a shudder. "If I hear one more damn man say bread..." "Shh." I wrapped my arm around him, keeping my voice low and trying to pull him back to reality. To the park where no one would ask for salted carbs. "It's over now. It's over." He nodded, but I could tell that the pain wouldn't leave. Breadsticks stay with a man, now and forever. "Where did you end up?" he asked, finally taking the Jack and downing some with a shake. "Local chain," I said with a distant glare. "Pay was good. Damn good." Only veterans knew what that meant. It was a false summit, a golden dance that hid something venomous. Every great victory comes at a great cost, and the bigger the stakes, the deeper the cut. He asked timidly, "Was it worth it?" A shudder hit me. It ran down the length of my spine and found my feet shifting awkwardly on the green grass. I rose through the ranks quick. I saw it. Host to server to bartender within a year. No one could last. "You man the glass?" "Damn right," I said with honest pride. "That bar was mine. Held the front with pride, but... I? We were a destination spot. Right by a stadium. Dear God!" His face of horror brought me some sort of strange warmth. It is why we talk amongst each other, this understanding. It was all we had. Concerts? Sports? I said with spite. College ball? No. The rush of memories was almost too much. The constant ring of drinks arriving at the bar computer, the deep sea of angry, bustling people begging for more. They were incessant, almost inhuman. What rested in the eyes of a person wanting to be served wasn't thirst or hunger, but desperation. They clawed to reach my bar, and by the time they made it, they were hardened, different than when they'd arrived. It was enough to make a grown man shake. "Buddy?" He rested a hand on my back. "You still there?" "Sorry." I shook my head, but my train of thought didn't return. The man seemed to understand, and for the moment we just enjoyed the silence. Something service vets know too little of. "I can't sleep some nights," I admitted. "I keep hearing the alarm demanding more drinks." "Mine is the grill timer." He sipped more. "That damn buzz." "I suppose we all have some sort of haunt, don't we?" "Something has to last with us." I wiped the dripping liqueur off of my chin, but it had already stained my shirt. Do you miss anything about it? He was silent for a moment, musing the idea while we both let the Jack warm our stomachs and make his way to our brains. It was instant, he finally said. Everything about it, the money, the battle, the friendships, it was all in the moment. No rest for the wicked or her servers, no such thing as tomorrow, no such thing as later, it was all now or never. I smiled. Never ask a member of the service industry what they're doing tomorrow. God knows they won't know. But after work, what else but drink? We laughed, letting the only lovely thing of war have the microphone for a moment. Then the man took a deep breath and looked at me with a sympathetic glare. I had to apologize. For? Then he stood up from the grass, peering into the horizon with a pained grimace. I've got to go. Home? No. I hope you understand. I needed to feel what it was like for a moment. To be free. No! I stood up, shocked. You're still in? He looked at his watch. Shift starts in 30. Just like that, his face changed right before my eyes. The scars were no longer so old, and the depth that surrounded his eyes seemed to be made of fresh dirt. I don't think I can leave at this point. I didn't want to understand. I didn't want to agree, but I did. I knew all too well. Sometimes the memories were enough to bring you back. Like a Stockholm prisoner, you'd waddle into a restaurant and enlist again. Not sure why, and relive the battle all over. You'd be beaten, thrashed against the wall, and shot up with humanity's worst. But you'd be paid in cash that very night, and you spend the moonlight hours celebrating your survival, not caring about tomorrow or her worries, for you live today. You can fight it, I said, while grabbing him by the shoulders. A new and sharp desperation gripping me. Just leave, don't come back, find another job. Anything but that. No, son. My hands fell from him, and his found mine. A gentle and caring hand and a small smile. Some of us are just meant to die out there. Some of us had to be the soil for the flowers to grow. I shook my head. He was for life. He would move from front to front, swap branches and rise through the ranks a plethora of times. He'd go out every night and blow his money, then walk in the next day with a knife-fatal hangover. He'd cook, wash, maybe manage for a bit, and keep the world running. He was a lifer. I couldn't deny it. I knew the breed. Men and women made different from myself, stronger, more hearty. Good luck, I finally said. It's hard out there. Oh, I know. He turned and began to walk soft through the park, heading towards his fate, like Sisyphus and his boulder. Travelling in between the families and couples, in between the young kids who didn't need to work, and by the adults who would never understand. No one knows more than us, son. And he went. The nameless veteran of World War service industry. The man who wouldn't stop, who couldn't stop, for it was his blood. Sir, you have my salute, and my sympathies. Keep fighting, and enjoy the ecstasy of being able to say, every day, I lived.